don't know what's worth fighting for, or why I have to scream. I don't know why I instigate, say what I don't mean. I don't know how I got this way, I know it's not alright, so I'm breaking the habit.
Greetings, YouTube. It is I, Revenge of the Fallen. Lately, I've been hearing some news about a national ID card, so I decided to go online and do some research. When I searched YouTube, I came across this video. From what I can discern, it's by some internet or cable access show called Out There TV, which I think is an appropriate name for the show since it's pretty out there. Now, my initial reaction to this video was, this has to be a joke. These people can't be serious. Unfortunately, they are. Now, before I begin this commentary, I should point out that this video was created well over 5 years ago. So when I call these people out, it's not merely because I disagree with them, it's because, looking back at this video in hindsight, I can see that their assertions have proven to be false.
Last Tuesday, May 10th, 2005, you may not have even realized it, but America became a true police state.
Now keep that in mind. The date for this video is May 10th, 2005, and that's supposed to be the date America became a police state. It's 5 years later. Is what this woman claimed anywhere close to being true?
Your U.S. senators voted unanimously with no discussion and without even reading the bill to create a national ID card.
An ID card. The greatest threat to my civil liberties is a stupid piece of plastic with my picture on it. I'm sorry, but how is that different from what we have now? I mean, I have a driver's license and a state ID card. Would a national ID be any different?
The Real ID Act blackmails state governments and turning into driver's license into a draconian tool of the federal homeland security apparatus. Now listen, if states refuse, citizens lose such privileges as being allowed to board an airplane, enter a federal building, or apply for Social Security. President Bush is expected to sign the bill as we speak.
That's what's at stake here, being able to board a plane, being able to enter a federal building, applying for Social Security. I know I asked this already, but how is that different than what we have now? I need identification in order to board a plane. I need a passport in order to leave the country. My mom needs her birth certificate in order to apply for Social Security. And when I had jury duty, I needed to pass through a metal detector and show security guards my driver's license in order to enter the courthouse. But at least these people admit that these are all privileges, not rights, which are at stake. I mean, do you think they should allow anyone to wander into a federal building? I don't think so.
Within the next year, this Stalin-style internal passport will be an American reality, but your government will have more control over you than Stalin ever dreamed of in his most violent anti-freedom dreams. And this, folks, is only the beginning.
More power than what Stalin had. You know you're talking about Stalin, the epitome of a megalomaniac, second only to Adolf Hitler. The guy had frickin' amount of power over his people. I don't think you should be throwing around his name in frivolous hyperbole. Think about it. This woman claimed that in 1 year, the government would have more power than Stalin. It's been well over 5 years. Does the government have that much totalitarian power now? Obvious answer, no.
Now, dear viewers, know that this kind of information is only allowed to be broadcast. That's right, allowed to be broadcast on independent television shows such as this one out there and shows like Democracy Now! You won't ever hear a word of it on any of the networks.
Gee, I wonder why. Could it be because this news story is, I don't know, unfounded paranoia bullshit?
The creator of the Real ID Act, Representative James Sensenbrenner, smiles and tells us that his Real ID Act is all about solving illegal immigration or preventing terrorists from entering the country. But as Senator Ron Paul says, it's one of the biggest of the thousands of big lies we've heard from the tyrants in Washington. The Real ID Act is about tracking and controlling Americans. You, me, our children, everybody. It has nothing to do with terrorists.
Now, I can understand if this national ID ID card brings up privacy issues. There were a lot of privacy issues about the Patriot Act, which was also passed to counter illegal immigration and terrorism. Obviously, the Patriot Act posed a threat to many of our constitutional rights, and it should be opposed for that reason. So I'm not saying that we shouldn't be skeptical of the government and its intentions. However, there is a fine line between being skeptical and being paranoid.
If it was about catching illegals trying to enter the United States, why were the U.S. Border Control agents along the Arizona-Mexico border just last week ordered by the White House to stand down? This is the truth. In other words, our own Border Patrol was told to cease and desist as they holstered their guns and watched hundreds of illegals stream into the country.
I don't really have any idea what these people are talking about, and I'm not really going to research it to determine whether or not these people are spewing bullshit or not, so let's assume that they are and skip this part.
You may ask, what the heck is going on? Has everything gone crazy? Well, it has. Of course, as you've heard dozens of times on this show, we believe that 911 was a staged event.
Whoa. Time out now. Could you repeat that?
We believe that 911 was a staged event in order to facilitate passage of the Patriot Act 1 and 2, to install surveillance cameras on every corner, to limit the freedoms of the press and the public, to enable strip searches at airports, and now the national ID system.
So let me get this straight. You people believe that 9/11 was an inside job, and you have stated this many times on your show, that 9/11 was an inside job. Clearly you people are a credible news source.
As David Rockefeller told the crowd at Davos, Switzerland just last year at a meeting of a global elite, he said, quote, "We are on the verge of a global transformation. All we need is the right major crisis, and the nations will finally accept the new world order that we've been working so long to implement."
So not only do you people believe that 9/11 is an inside job, but that there is a secret new world order being established. Clearly you people are a credible news source.
And let's not forget what Henry Kissinger said at a Bilderberg meeting in France. This is a quote. "Today, Americans would be outraged if UN troops entered Los Angeles to restore order. Tomorrow, they will be grateful. This is especially true if they were told there was an outside threat from beyond, whether real or fabricated. It is then that people will plead with world leaders to deliver them from this evil. The one thing every man fears is the unknown."
Kissinger ends the quote with, "When presented with this scenario, individual rights will be willingly relinquished for the guarantee of their well-being granted to them by the world government."
You know what the show reminds me of? The 700 Club. Seriously, this is exactly the kind of paranoia I would expect from Pat Robertson. Now, this national ID card, which everyone will be required to have to buy and trade, is obviously the mark of the beast as foretold in the Book of Revelation. This is proof that the one world order is being set up for the Antichrist, and this ID card will be used to persecute the Christians left behind during the 7-year tribulation, and blah blah blah. I think I just wet myself.